I have received so much feedback from a few of my relationship videos and questions and requests for different topics. But one of the topics that is coming up a lot is on this idea of toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. And so I want to deal with toxic masculinity, but I want to deal with it in the context of something that has helped me. And it's my hope that it's a blessing to you as well, and especially men. A few years ago, a friend of mine and colleague sent me a text and said, "Hey, check out this guy named Kevin Samuels. You all talk about a lot of the same things. He kind of reminds me of you. Very straightforward, very honest, to the point, though your delivery styles are different. Very honest and straightforward." And so I looked at the clip. He said some great things. Definitely didn't agree with everything he said, but he said some great things. And I could definitely see the honesty part for sure. But I didn't have enough information to make a judgment. So I am I'm a researcher by trade. And so I believe in judging things with context. So on his YouTube channel, I went back to the very first video he posted. And he was actually sitting in a car like I am. And his very first video was about a 19-minute video, I believe, where he was challenging men to be men. And in my humble opinion, that was the very best video he ever did, because he took the approach of telling men that their first priority was becoming the best men they could become before they could be successful in anything else. I want to say this to every man watching this video, and I want to say this to your face as a man. A woman does not have a problem following you. There are millions of women around the world that would love to have a man that they could follow, that they could walk with, that could support her, that she could be supportive of. But the reality is, fellas, you have to give her something to follow. There is a horrible narrative out here in this dating relationship world, content world, where we are giving people toxic advice, saying that because you're a man, you should automatically be in charge. And I don't really care what you say. Just because you're a man does not mean you are a leader. Now, innately, you may feel or believe that you've been given as a man and born with characteristics that would allow you to be a leader. And I believe that if men walk in their calling and purpose as real men, then they are able to do that. But fellas, just because you're a man does not mean you automatically get to lead a woman. And ladies, I want to say this: you would be a fool to let a man lead you and he does not have his own stuff in order. Maybe this example will make sense. I was helping Giselle with something in her phone. She wanted me to help her figure something out, and she gave me her phone, and I had to go through her calls for something she was trying to do. And of course, she had in her recent calls a FaceTime call with me, and it had in her avatar a picture of she and I, but my name in her phone is Protector. And I was very touched by seeing that, because number one, that's what I am. But number two, it said to me that she understood what I am attempting to show her as my role in her life, and eventually what her husband's role should be in her life. Giselle doesn't open car doors. She will literally sit in the car and wait for her brother or I to open the door. Giselle sits first at restaurants. She doesn't, watch me and her brother or whoever else, run to a seat first. She sits first, and we make sure she has her seat first. She is already being taught what a lady should be treated like and how she should be handled, and with no strings attached. Fellas, have no problem with you leading. You can take this whatever way you want to. But if you are not positioned to lead, it is incredibly unreasonable to expect a woman to follow you. You have to be able to offer her more than 6 feet, 6 figures, and the ability to blow her back out. The reality is, if she's sick, you got to be spiritual enough to pray for her. If she's having a bad day, you've got to be emotionally stable enough to be a calming force in her life. If things are going haywire in life in general, or in her health, or in her career or family, whatever, or with you two, you have to be the calming force in her life that when you show up, your energy and spirit alone takes the situation and calms it down. Your presence should not take her anxiety from 40 to 90. It should bring her anxiety from 90 down to 20. And the reality is, this toxic masculinity talk has empowered many men to believe that just because you're a man, you get to automatically lead. And that's not true. And not only is it not true, it just doesn't make sense. If you want her to be spiritual, you need to be spiritual first. If you want her to have a great understanding of finances and good finances, you need to have your financial life together. If you want her to be fine and fit and friendly and in shape, then your stomach should not be hanging over your belly. The reality is, the best way to get a woman to lead you is to give her something to lead. And until then, does not mean you can't be a leader. It just means that right now, you're not ready to lead anybody's daughter. I hope this made sense. If it did, do me a favor. I want you to type church in the comments with 3 R's. And then remember, you've got 2 jobs. 1, be better today than what you were yesterday. And 2, don't forget what I told you.